and badly injures his hand. He is quickly taken to a doctor for treatment. Later, another mechanic comes to inspect the same car. While sitting inside, the ash from his cigar accidentally falls onto the seat. Several hours pass and the factory closes for the day. Everyone leaves and heads home. However, when the supervisor arrives, he notices that the lights of the red car are still on. As soon as he opens the door, the dead body of the mechanic with the cigar suddenly falls out. 28 years later, we meet a student named Dennis. He drives his car to pick up another boy named Arnie. Arnie is a quiet and studious teenager. Although Dennis and Arnie have very different personalities, they become close friends. It is their first day of school. After arriving, they place their new books inside their lockers. At that moment, Arnie notices a new girl named Lee. Her beauty immediately attracts the attention of nearly every boy in school. Later that day, Dennis and Arnie are driving back home when Arnie suddenly notices a car parked outside a house. He immediately tells Dennis to stop the car. As they move closer, they discover an old red classic car. It is the same red car shown earlier in the factory, but now it is badly damaged and worn out. Even so, Arnie becomes instantly fascinated by it. Just then, the owner of the car, George, walks over to them. He explains that the car is named Christine and once belonged to his brother, who died a few weeks earlier. George wants to get rid of the car quickly, so he agrees to sell it for only $50. Dennis warns Arnie not to waste money on such a broken vehicle and suggests buying a better car instead. However, Arnie ignores the advice and purchases Christine without hesitation. That evening, when he returns home, he tells his parents about buying the car. His mother becomes angry and scolds him for the decision. Still, Arnie does not care because he used his own savings to buy it. His mother refuses to let the car stay at their house. As a result, Arnie and Dennis take Christine to a garage. There, they meet the garage owner, Will, who is a rude and grumpy old man. Despite his attitude, Will allows Arnie to keep the car there. While returning, Dennis asks Arnie why he bought such a terrible car. Arnie replies that he did not choose Christine because Christine chose him. The following day, Dennis waits for Arnie during lunch break. When Arnie does not arrive for a long time, Dennis goes searching for him. He soon finds a bully named Buddy harassing Arnie. When Dennis tries to step in, Buddy throws his lunch onto the floor and pushes Arnie onto him. During the struggle, Arnie's glasses fall off. Buddy then steps on them and crushes them completely. He laughs at Arnie's condition and humiliates him in front of everyone. Seeing the opportunity, Dennis suddenly attacks Buddy. At that moment, Buddy's gang rushes in and brutally beats Dennis. Soon, a teacher arrived and stopped the fight. Arnie told the teacher that Buddy had threatened him with a knife. The teacher ordered Buddy to empty his pockets, and the same knife was discovered there. As a result, Buddy and his friends were sent to the principal's office. Soon after, Buddy was expelled from school. Several weeks passed, and Arnie spent nearly all his time repairing cars. The garage owner eventually hired Arnie to help at the garage and promised to collect spare parts for Christine. Arnie happily accepted the offer and fully devoted himself to fixing vehicles. While working on Christine every day, he slowly became emotionally attached to the car. One evening, Dennis went to meet Arnie because they had not spent time together for a while. He was shocked to see how much Arnie had changed. Arnie was now wearing stylish clothes, no longer needed glasses, and behaved with unusual confidence and aggression. He barely spoke to Dennis before returning to work inside the garage. Later, Arnie's mother tried to stop him from leaving again. However, Arnie ignored her and walked away. His mother then told Dennis that she was deeply worried about both Arnie and Christine. She explained that she had learned the car's previous owner had died from suffocation inside the vehicle. After hearing this, Dennis decided to visit George. George shared the disturbing story of his brother and Christine. He explained that after buying the car, his brother became completely obsessed with it. Eventually, both his wife and daughter lost their lives in the same car. After his brother's death, Christine somehow ended up abandoned in the garage. George then tried to open the car for Dennis, but the moment he touched the handle, the radio suddenly turned on by itself. Terrified by the strange incident, Dennis quickly ran away. The following morning, Dennis arrived at the school stadium for a football match. He was focused on scoring an important goal for his team. Suddenly, he noticed Arnie arriving in Christine. The car now looked completely restored and flawless, surprising everyone around him. Even Dennis and his friends could hardly believe it was the same damaged vehicle. At that moment, Lee stepped out of the car and kissed Arnie in front of everyone. Seeing this made Dennis upset and distracted him during the match. The opposing team quickly took advantage of his lack of focus. One player shoved Dennis hard and stole the ball from him. The impact threw Dennis to the ground with tremendous force. He immediately lost consciousness and suffered serious injuries. Several days later, Dennis woke up in a hospital room. His leg and neck were covered in heavy plaster casts. At that moment, Arnie arrived to visit him. Dennis realized that his friend was changing more and more every day. Only a month earlier, Arnie had been shy, quiet, and obedient to his family. Now he seemed like a completely different person. After a short conversation, Arnie quickly said goodbye and left the the hospital. That same evening, he went to the movies with Lee. Later, the two sat together inside Christine and began kissing. As the moment became more intense, Lee suddenly stepped out of the car. Arnie followed her and asked what was wrong. Lee told him that he seemed to love the car more than he loved her. Her words confused Arnie, but he eventually convinced her to get back inside Christine. Just then, the windshield suddenly cracked on its own. Arnie immediately stepped out to inspect the damage. Meanwhile, Lee reached for something to eat inside the car. Suddenly, the radio switched on by itself without anyone touching it. At the same moment, a bright light suddenly flashed from the dashboard. Lee began choking and struggled to breathe properly. Arnie immediately rushed to help her, but the car doors were locked from the inside. In desperation, he tried repeatedly to open the doors from outside, but nothing worked. Just as Lee was close to suffocating, she finally managed to unlock the door herself. A nearby man quickly pulled her out of the car to help her. Seeing this, Arnie angrily attacked the man. However, the man was only trying to save Lee by removing the food stuck in her throat. Eventually, the situation settled down. Arnie later drove Lee back to her house. After stepping out of the car, Lee told him that she no longer wanted to talk to him. Arnie tried to apologize for everything that had happened, but Lee could not forget the terrifying feeling that Christine had tried to kill her. She also believed the car was jealous of her because something always went wrong whenever they spent time together inside it. After hearing her concerns, Arnie realized she was emotionally disturbed by the incident. Sat inside the car. However, the engine suddenly refused to start. While speaking to the car, Arnie said that no matter what happened with Lee, he would always love Christine the same way. The moment he turned the key again, the engine instantly started. He drove directly to the garage, parked Christine there, and returned home. A short while later, Buddy and his gang secretly entered the garage. They carried different weapons with them. Within minutes, they completely destroyed Christine. The following day, Arnie somehow managed to make peace with Lee. Together, they went to the garage so Arnie could retrieve his wallet from the car. As soon as they entered, Arnie was horrified to see Christine completely wrecked. Lee asked who could have done such a terrible thing, but instead of answering, Arnie suddenly shouted at her for no reason and told her to leave. Later, Arnie informed his parents about the destruction of the car. They tried to comfort him and promised they would buy him another vehicle. However, this only made Arnie even angrier. He believed his parents hated Christine just like Lee did. Arnie even blamed them for what had happened to the car. He claimed that if they allowed him to keep Christine at home, none of this would have happened. His anger grew stronger and he began insulting his parents. Afterward, he stormed toward his room. His father stopped him and demanded that he apologize to his mother. Instead, Arnie continued insulting him as well. His father finally lost patience and raised his hand at him. Arnie reacted angrily and quietly walked out of the house. He went straight back to Christine and decided to repair the car piece by piece once again. But what he witnessed next completely shocked him. Right before his eyes, Christine began repairing itself as if it were alive. Arnie watched in amazement and excitement. He even spoke to the car, wondering what else it was capable of doing. Within moments, Christine restored itself completely. Later that night, around midnight, a boy named Moochie, one of Buddy's gang members, stopped a truck in the middle of the road and robbed it. Suddenly, he heard the sound of a car engine approaching from a distance. Curious, he stepped forward to look more closely. The moment he recognized the vehicle, fear took over him. It was Christine. The car slowly stopped right in front of him, looking completely new and undamaged. Moochie assumed that Arnie was inside the car. He realized that Arnie must have discovered that he and Buddy were responsible for destroying Christine. Terrified, Moochie began apologizing and begged for forgiveness. The car then accelerated straight toward him at high speed. Moochie panicked and ran for his life. He quickly hid inside a narrow alley beside the road. For a moment, he believed the car had stopped chasing him. But seconds later, Christine returned and continued hunting him down. Moochie ran into an abandoned warehouse to escape. However, Christine crashed through the entrance without slowing down. Eventually, Moochie became trapped with no possible escape route. Threatened the car, but Christine charged directly at him and brutally killed him. The following morning, Arnie visited Dennis and informed him about Moochie's death. Dennis was shocked after hearing news. He could not understand how Christine after being completely destroyed. The car had been badly damaged, yet somehow it had restored itself. Arnie gave no explanation and quietly left. Soon afterward, Detective Jenkins arrived to question Dennis. The detective explained that